Now, you did spend some interesting time, I think, with Guy Kawasaki on blogging.
Yeah, he's got a lot of great strategies around blogging. And so it was such a, I don't know, it was such a joy to interview him. I kind of like being able to bring my friends into this. There's all kinds of little Easter eggs in here, like for my children or for my good friends. Like when they
Right.
read it, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I get that,"
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's sort of a side joy, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
to writing a book. So it was such a joy to have
Wow.
Guy as part of it.
I just feel I have to try to give the guy a lift. I'm.
I know he's been toiling away in obscurity for
I
so long.
know.
Sad.
He's so shy.
He really has to learn how to promote himself.
Yes.
That's my piece of advice for him.
I will pass that along. So tell me about the Hemingway app. What the heck are you doing with that?
So Hemingway app, actually, I just wrote about this yesterday on my blog because
Oh,
in I think it's part 6 of Everybody Writes, I gave lots and lots of tools that are handy for writers to know. And the question I've gotten recently is, well, what ones do you actually use? So I talked about 8 writing tools that I use every single day
yes, you did.
on my own blog, and one of them is Hemingway app, and I swap it out with Grammarly, which is another similar app. And what that is it's essentially just an app that's available on a number of different platforms. You just take your text from wherever you've written it, whether you've written it in a text editor or a Word doc or whatever, and just paste it into this app, and it'll just sort of flag different issues with it.
Wow.
And so it's super handy. And I think it's not a replacement for a real live editor. I think they add a lot to the process. A really good editor can add an awful lot to the process of writing and publishing. But it's a great first pass, just to tell you, this is kind of a weak sentence. There's sort of lots of passive voice here. You got some spelling errors here. You might phrase this a little differently. And it's, they're both super smart editing apps and editing tools. And I think they're fantastic. So,
Well, okay, I wanted to wrap up with the way you wrapped up the book. And you had the quote from E.B. White. And then you had, done is better than perfect. So why did you end the book with that?
I ended the book with that quote because I, as I mentioned, am a endless tweaker. I can endlessly polish and hone, and I always think that anything I do, any piece of writing that I create can be better. And so I ended it with that for 2 reasons. First, as a reminder to myself that at some point, you do have to ship, right? You've got to exactly. You just got to hand it over.
Right.
But the other reason why I wanted to put that in the book is because, with a book on writing, there's always going to be those people who will point out the typos to you. So it was just a reminder to my readers as well as to me. But I do think it's something that I live by. I saw it on the wall of Facebook ages ago when I was visiting there for something. I think it's absolutely true. Done is better than perfect.
Well, thank you very much for discussing and giving us the insight and some of the background into Everybody Writes.
Always a pleasure to talk to you. You know that.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. That was a great interview. If you'd like to see more on the AQ's Blog and Grill, please just subscribe. There's a button right there. And there's all sorts of content with great authors, great speakers, great thought leaders. So please join us as a subscriber to AQ's Blog and Grill.